Well, it looks like this may be working today. It wasn't yesterday, uh, but we may be good today, huh? Anybody there yet? You know, DC has a waterfront. Actually, it's a river, the Potomac River, and they have crew down here and stuff like that. And it's down. This is the end of behind me. Here is, if you go up that street, that goes into Georgetown, which is sort of like a little shopping center. And you come down here, and you see the water here, and we have a lot of restaurants and stuff that aren't open now. See down there, some fancy office buildings and restaurants and stuff like that. Is this too windy to hear? Because I don't have a microphone to shade the wind. So I'm wondering if you could hear me. Good afternoon, Garciana. Can you hear me okay though? Is it windy too? I mean, besides yeah, you hear you good. Okay, hear you fine. Great. What? I don't know if you're tied up in the elections or not, but you know, I've been in Washington for 40, 50 years or something like that, and people come and go, and not a whole lot changes. Certainly, Trump came to town and changed it a bit, and I thought it'd be maybe a little bit better than it turned out to be, but no matter who gets elected, and they figure this out in the next couple of days or weeks, or long as it talks, it really is not going to affect you for a while, and really for a long time. Because what happens after the election, they're going to do the stimulus, and most of them agree on the same thing. No, man, I can hear you. Okay, good. So it is right. I can hear you, and the wind sounds pretty windy. Yes. Should I get out of the wind or not? Can you help me find a grant money to cut down down? I'm not sure. Is that an outhouse or an out down? Yeah, maybe I just better. I think I'm gonna get out of here a little bit, so the wind doesn't wrap around as much. But anyway, so we're still going to have a stimulus package once this is all over, no matter who gets elected. That'll be, and they already agreed on the basics. Most of the stuff they don't agree on doesn't help individuals in the short term. It will in the long term, because it's like for the policemen and stuff like that. They don't want to give any money to the cities who are going broke after the pandemic. And so that's an issue there. See, now I'm under the trestle, or whatever the heck it is you call it here. It's a little noisy, isn't it? I'll go up here and see what's going on. So that's right, it's not gonna, the stimulus will come out, but more importantly, see, there's already, you know, we're gonna start a new fiscal year. Actually, it already started, you know, this month, I think. We start a new fiscal year. So now there's over $2 trillion of new money that goes out to individuals in existing programs. So these are not the COVID programs or the pandemic programs or whatever you call it. So in the existing stuff. And that's why, you know, that hasn't been used as much as it should. Where actually, I think this is what happens. I think what's good about the COVID stuff, people are learning about government programs. And now you know more about what's entitled, or what it takes to apply to the existing $2 trillion that's available. You know, and that's what I think what's good about this stuff, because they made all that COVID stuff. The COVID grants became available, and everybody heard about them because it was in the news all over. And see, we do that every year with about the same amount that they gave out in COVID money. There's an extra $2 trillion that's given out and stuff, you know, that people don't know about, the average person. So that's what's good to me about what's happening, is that you're learning. You know, the average person now is going to realize that, hey, the government has a lot of stuff, and you learn more about how to get it, and you don't go to some consultant who's going to charge you $500 to apply for something when you could do it yourself. And that's what I think is good. Now, it doesn't solve every problem, and nothing does, but the government represents like 33%, 35%, depends on who's counting. 35% of everything in the economy is government. So you have over a third of the economy is government, and that's why the rich people use the hell out of it. So there's so much there. That's money that's sloshed around. We all pay taxes, we all get it back, and all this kind of stuff goes back and forth. And so with the COVID we just juiced that up a lot, right? And gave more. But see, now I feel that the average person knows now there's a lot about the government. They know a little bit more about who gives out money and who doesn't. And a little bit, it's learning a system. Once you learn the system, then you can use it better. So now, okay, if you don't find a grant, a COVID grant, we'll look for other grants, and that's the important thing. And I think I still have this on, if you go to www.free.lesco.com/store, S-T-O-R-E, I think I have a free handout of places who will do free research for you. And I'm updating that report, so I'm going to have a new one there shortly. But I think there you could see that and find existing programs that are not COVID to help you, and services and things like this. You're out of debt. Okay, well, where you live, there's a half a dozen agencies, government officials, who get grant money to help you get out of debt. Okay, so they're sitting there 24/7. They've been there for 20, 30 years. Nobody knows they're there. They're like what I used to, if you're old enough to remember the ads about the Maytag repairman, and it was, the actor who did it was called Jesse White. This is back in the 50s or something. So you got to listen to old man tales. And the ad was Jesse White sitting by washing machines with his feet up on the desk with nothing to do. And the point was, he's got nothing to do because he's a Maytag repairman. So if you buy a Maytag, you'll never need it repaired, and Jesse has nothing to do. And that's how I used to see the government. And when I first came to town, these guys are sitting there doing nothing. And see, what I learned about this, I'd find the Jesse Whites in the government, and that my Fortune 500 clients could use, and I'd get all this information for free. And Jesse White, the Maytag repairman in the government, would give me all this information and show me how to apply for money programs. Then I'd go to my client, and I'd charge him $10,000 to do that stuff. It was crazy. And that's what this town is full of, hucksters like I was, that charge people hundreds and thousands of dollars to get what anybody else could get for free, right? Anybody can get for free. And growing up in a place called Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, I said, this is crazy. Wow, this is absolutely nuts. We got all this stuff here. And just because you know it's there, you can get it for free. Wow. And I said, when I grew up in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, I said, God, why doesn't everybody do this? Well, you have to know it's there. And then you have to realize that what's there, you have to use differently than you use everything else in our society. Because everything else in our society, you pay to use. And when you pay somebody to do something, they have more of an incentive to kiss your butt and be nice to you. They don't always do that, do they? No, never. So really, and the people that you don't pay, it's a different motive, and that's why you have to appeal to that. You have to realize that. You have to be tolerant. And that's, I think our whole country has to be tolerant more, right? This is why we're so fighting each other. I don't know why, but, because we're so intolerant, everybody. What the hell, Anyway, that's another issue. But it's really realizing that these people are your neighbors. And that's why, back to the country as a whole, God, these are my neighbors. If half the country thinks a way you don't, well, they're not all crazy, right? Maybe to you they are, but they're not. They're trying to do the best they can. So why can't we be more tolerant? So that's why the government or somebody works, so you call up. I mean, these are your neighbors. They're working there. I mean, they had a bad day too, so they may be pissy and whatever. But remember, see, these government bureaucrats that you have to take advantage of is that they get the same paycheck if they're nice to you or they're not nice to you. So that's why it's learning how to use them. And that's why all these programs that are there, your life isn't going to change. So what I'm really saying that your life's going to change, and no matter who's in charge, it's not going to. The money you could get is going to be the same in the next 6 to 12 months. And if you and what these people really do that come elected could change things for. I was a ship driver in the Navy, so driving a big ship, in a big sea of water and you don't see land anywhere, if you're offered a degree here, it means nothing for the next 2 days, but in 5 days you're in the wrong country. So it means something in the long run, but not in the short run. So that's why these people could come to town, get elected, and try to do stuff. And what they really do is affect us in the long term more than in the short term. The short term is really, the machinery's going, man. There's a big bureaucracy going by itself, and you got 3 million people in the government, and what, they're changing 1,000, or actually it's about 3,000 or 4,000, that's it, out of the million. It's, thank you, man, it's fun. It's not a whole lot of difference, but it is in the long run. So what I'm trying to do is make you realize, okay, don't wait for something to happen when somebody gets elected and comes in November. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference, for a while. And even with, maybe by then we'll get a stimulus package, will be the same no matter who's there. So don't bet the farm on your life changing that much. You got to start doing shit now, and figuring out all this stuff, how to use it, how to take advantage of what's available, what's not available. And because nothing a whole lot is going to change. The only and your income and your access to income in the next 6 to 12 months is not going to change a lot, no matter who gets elected. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm sure maybe something big will happen, or prove me wrong, and I've been proven wrong. But anyway, if I am wrong, I mean, it's wise. Said the Bank of New York approved $9,000. The federal government covered it. I didn't know what that was. I couldn't read it fast enough. So that's why, start doing it now. Start finding out about these. Look at the last video I did. I showed you how to find these 6 offices where you live that are there if you have financial troubles. And you call every one of those suckers, and you start learning the system now, and don't wait for somebody to have a party for you. Have your own party. That's why I dress like this. Oh, would you love to have somebody throw you a party every day? Well, don't wait for that to happen. It's not going to happen. The best way to have a party every day is throw your own party. Why wait for somebody else to throw a party for you? So just have your own party every day. Nobody's stopping you, right? I don't know why we think our happiness in life depends on everybody else. They're struggling. They're not depending. Oh, I'm going to see how I can screw over Lesko. Well, they're probably doing it or whatever, but it doesn't matter. I can still throw my own party. Maybe they crash it or whatever. What the hell? I'll throw another one tomorrow. And that's what all of us. And so that's why you have to start taking steps today towards what you want to do. And these are those 6 places. I mean, okay, what's a job situation like? Okay. That's not going to get better for a long time, right? So you got to start with what your options are. Your options are what in your brain is in your brain now. Your options are trying to put more things in your brain that you had no idea about. That's where options and opportunities are. How do you find that? You go to things like the government, the career one-stops. You go to some, I mean, there's probably a half a dozen to 2 dozen to 3 dozen nonprofit organizations where you live that help people find jobs and careers, okay? They're all free. And that's something to do. Or you go to meetup.com, meetup, MEETUP.com, and you look for people finding jobs, people want to start businesses, people want to invest in real estate, and start seeing how other people do things. The world is big, man, and we live in, we're just all little little ants walking around. Have no idea what's on the other side of the mountain. And we think everybody's like us. Nah, there's 1,000 ways to do things. We just don't know them yet. So really the key is getting out there and finding other options, because obviously that shit you're doing now ain't working. So, and you don't know what to do, so you just got to do something different. That's the key. You don't know what to do. I don't even know what to tell you to do, because we're all struggling. But there are tools out there you can start using to learn something new to do, and that's what it is. Bringing this to our and otherwise sitting down, and it's no fun sitting down worry. We got so much shit to worry about, so why do that? Yeah, get something bigger to worry about. And that's why another way to do is, okay, I'm gonna have a mission. I'm gonna figure out how to be a whatever it is, and you volunteer for somebody's work. You always wanted to be a bartender. Call every restaurant open and say, hell, I'll clean your bar for free every night. What the hell? You got nothing better to do. Why don't you work for somebody for free and learn their business and learn what it is, so you can see the opportunities that are there for you. It's like that. You always want to solve the homeless problem, whatever. Go on 211.org and find out all the homeless nonprofits. Say you want to volunteer and do something. There's too many problems to solve. Go out and try to solve one, and then figure out a way to earn money doing it. And then if you could earn money working on a problem that you think is important to solve and make money doing it, man, now you'll find something that you could do for the rest of your life and not worry about retirement or anything, because you're doing something you love doing it and you're getting paid for it. Man, that's like joining the circus. And that's what it is. It's all this circus, right? So let me go back. I got 3 more miles to do, maybe 3.5. I ate a lot of ice cream last night, and I think I got to do another mile or 2 to to do that, or instant Lesko will come back. Okay, guys, thanks for putting up with me. This didn't seem too bad, did it? Okay, talk to you soon.